Let's take a quick moment now to look at some comparison operators and language constructs available to us in JavaScript. There should be very few surprises here, but let's go over them just to be sure. For comparisons, the double equals sign, or the equality operator, tells me if two things have the same value or not. So it'll convert them as best it can to be the same thing and then figure out, do they have the same value. This differs from the identity operator, or the triple equals, which will tell me not only do they have the same value, but also the same type, and we'll see here for sure that that is not the case. We also saw previously that an empty string, false, null, undefined, and 0 all have the same value, but we will see that null and undefined are indeed equivalently valued, but they are not the same thing. Okay. One of the interesting things you can do in JavaScript is you can create a number like this with the literal syntax, or I can actually say x equals new number 234. So now I can actually say, is x 234, and it will be true. But if I do type of x, you'll actually see it's an object. So if I actually ask if x equals 234, you'll see false. So functionally, if I use these constructors available to me in JavaScript, functionally the values will work like we expect, but at the heart of the matter, they're suddenly being treated slightly different by the language runtime. So as a result, you won't see us using these very much. You have number, string, and Boolean constructors for objects like that. We're not going to use those terribly often. Moving on to language constructs. There's not really much new here, so we don't need to cover too much. There is a ternary operator available to us in JavaScript, so I can say var x equals today, cat, or else dog, and you'll see today is cat. We did see we have for loops. I can say for I equals, there's the standard looping. You do have do while loops in JavaScript, and you also do have while, x or while condition loops available to us. We have a switch statement in JavaScript, and the thing I like about that is you can use string cases in addition to numeric cases like that. I should have used the break statement in the phrase above like that, and then I also do have default like that. So the switch statement is pretty much as you'd expect. If you come from a language that doesn't allow strings, that's a nice sort of improvement and addition. JavaScript does support bitwise operators, which is kind of fascinating because it doesn't really use integer types like other languages do. So I can actually use the AND or the inverse or the XOR operator in JavaScript. And basically what they do is they take the operand, they convert it into an integer, they perform the bitwise operation, and then they convert it back to a JavaScript number, which is a little bizarre. So let's take the number var x equals 10. We'll say y equals 2. And then let's say x and y, and you'll see the value 2. And so what it actually did is it took the 10 and converted that into 10, 10, 10, and it took the 2 and converted that into 10. It did the and then it came back with converted it back to a number, which is the number 2. So all of those things do exist. One other type of loop that does exist that we will make use of sometimes in Node.js is the ability to iterate over the keys in an object. So let's say I have var user equals first name Mark, last name, let's not type my whole name, it's kind of long, birth date, no way, like that. I have that. So I can actually iterate over the keys in that by saying for key in user, and then console.log key like that. And that actually is a way to iterate over everything in an object, and that's an innovation of sort of new and modern JavaScript implementations, which V8 also has. So that's a quick review of the language constructs. There's nothing surprising there. And with that, let's go on and talk about, in the next subsection, classes, prototypes, and inheritance.